Hello man, how we doing?
Yo, you alright? Welcome to my humble abode.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I like what you've done with the place.
Yeah, thank you. So this is my room.
Do you want to give me the grand tour then?
Oh yeah, sure, of course. So as you can see right now, we're sat on the bed. This is the sleeping station. This piece of kind of mattress foam, which is ridiculously comfortable. Everything's kind of centered around that, and then kind of like the rest of the room, which is basically everything behind where I sleep. So I've got my kind of little library here, which constantly changes depending on what I want to be reading at any given point. I try to get through these ones, and then like I'll kind of replace them with a bit of drawing and keep all my notes and write down dreams and ideas and stuff. And yeah, so this is my photo box. I think it's really important to kind of like have memories and keep reminding yourself of who you are or who you were, or all your memories and moments, like camera negatives in there, which are yet to be scanned in. So that's kind of, it needs some work in there.
Keeping them in the dark, yeah?
Yeah, got some candles here. Keep it smelling nice, that's quite important. And my wardrobe, I guess. Up here you've kind of got more of kind of a display cabinet, a memento I have from Japan. Kind of, it goes with me quite a lot of places, and it's more the stuff that I didn't really use, but they kind of like...
Oh yeah, is that your Christmas tree?
That is my makeshift kind of mistletoe.
Nice.
And obviously, yeah, right. It's quite sharp there, so I have to kind of cover it with this cushion to make sure I don't lean into it.
It's a bit of an eye opener.
Oh, the amount of times I nearly had my eye out on this sharp metal. It was very, very spontaneous. Like it just happened like over a conversation, like in a pub, and the next day it was like, yeah, okay, so this is happening. No real planning. No, like quite a lot of things in my life. There was she was having a bit of a housing issue, and I just suggested like, oh, like I wouldn't mind you living in our house. Like, you can just have my room. Like, in fact that will help me because, if you get like, I give a bit of pocket money on the side. Plus I get to live with like one of my friends, and yeah, it'll be just an interesting new venture. Like, like where am I going to live? Like, am I going to live in the living room or in the attic or friends' sofas and stuff. And for a few weeks I was just living in my brother's van. But then I didn't really have a place to shower. But yeah, like unless I had like all the equipment, like a heater and stuff, like it was just the bare bones of a van. And I realised that like I was spending more time in friends' houses, and I didn't want to just have all of my stuff laid across, their personal space. So like I didn't consider living in the cupboard until I actually put stuff in until I actually took an active approach and tested it, and was like, oh, actually this is fine. This is something that I'm making for my sister. It's kind of a panorama when she was in Morocco, and I'm going to paint it. I haven't painted it yet, but like it kind of like all fits in together like that. It's all the different parts. So eventually, hopefully, when it's painted in watercolours, it will look a bit nicer, I hope. But yeah, this was on the rooftop of a hotel in Morocco, and again, this is quite an important place for her. And for me as well, because that was one of the first times I went on holiday with her, and yeah. And
it fits perfectly in your tiny little space, man.
Yeah, so this will go up on the walls at some point, because I'm going to actually paint it. Like I want to paint it in here, like I might just stick it up on various bits of the wall. And,
yeah, you could do it like on one on each wall. just turn to each one.
Behind this plug, that is one of my best friends, George. That's a photograph like of this very room actually, like as a panorama, but because the kind of LED lights were flashing, if you turn them off, you can kind of see that it's actually yeah, it's just one colour. That's a postcard that another one of my old friends got when she went to Nepal, and she sent it to the whole house, and yeah, that was my old address in London, I remember like visiting one of my old uni friends in London. I think his name's Yuki, a Japanese person, and he was the most minimal person. Because I went into his room and I was just like, "What? Where's all your stuff?" And he had a cupboard, and in his cupboard was his clothes, and he had one box. And I think besides that box, there was nothing else. And then there was a plant, and I just remember being shocked at like how he had so little, or how he was able to just put all of his things away in a space where you couldn't see it. And I was just like, this is just an empty room. And I've realised that I don't need to have all these extra things, and
These creature comforts.
that's a good way of putting it, yeah. But like I think the kind of like the lifestyle has definitely become a bit more minimal, and I think like the amount of space you have shouldn't be like a factor of like how successful or how creative you are. The less space you have, the less things you have, then the less things you have to worry about, the less things you have to lose, really. Like, you're more... I know, like, where my limits are. That makes sense, like, and that's kind of strangely comforting. The space is the way it is, and, my lifestyle is the way it is, and I'm happy with it. And having less, it makes you appreciate what you do have.